In 2017, Kendall Jenner appeared in a highly controversial ad for Pepsi. This ad shows her attending a protest march and climaxes with her handing a can of Pepsi to a police officer. Upon release, this ad sparked a huge outcry, resulting in it being pulled from television within only one day. An ad like that has to go through many hands at a company, from writers to marketers to even the CEO. But what's funny about this ad is that it seems like no one involved really thought it through. They simply went ahead and ran the ad. This shows an incredible failure of critical thinking and decision making. It also demonstrates that the makers paid little attention to the feelings of diverse groups. Ultimately, this advert probably happened due to ideological conformity created by political correctness. This is just one example of a time that groupthink has caused a problem in our society. It happens quite often. So today, I want to talk about what groupthink is, how it affects us, and how we can prevent it.
If I knew that this was going to be the outcome, I would have never done something like this, but you don't know when you're in the moment, and it was the most, it was so, I just felt so stupid.
What is groupthink? Groupthink is a phenomenon that occurs when a group of individuals reaches a consensus without critical reasoning or evaluation of the consequences or alternatives. Groupthink is based on a common desire not to upset the balance of a group of people. This desire creates a dynamic within a group whereby creativity and individuality tend to be stifled in order to avoid conflict. Understanding groupthink. Yale University social psychologist Irving Janis coined the term groupthink in 1972. He theorized that groups of intelligent people sometimes make the worst possible decisions based on several factors. For example, the members of a group might all have similar backgrounds that could insulate them from the opinions of outside groups. Some organizations have no clear rules upon which to make decisions. Groupthink occurs when a party ignores logical alternatives and makes irrational decisions. But it's not always problematic. In the best cases, it allows a group to make decisions, complete tasks, and finish projects quickly and efficiently. In the worst cases, though, it leads to poor decision-making and inefficient problem-solving. Groupthink causes people to ignore or silence opposing viewpoints, creating the illusion that members of the group are in agreement. This may cause them to ignore potential dangers or take excessive risks. In military or political situations, groupthink can sometimes result in disasters or unethical actions because there is high pressure to agree with the group's consensus. Groupthink may cause people to ignore or reject important information, ultimately leading to poor decisions and errors in leadership. These errors can sometimes result in disaster or unethical behavior because the key decision makers are unaware of potential risks and contrarian viewpoints have been silenced. It can be particularly dangerous in political situations where decisions are made through collective deliberation and no single member of the group has enough knowledge to make an informed decision. Members of the group may feel pressure to conform to the consensus or pressure other members to conform. This may result in the false perception that the group is unanimous, creating even more pressure for group members to hide their misgivings. The characteristics of groupthink. Janis identified 8 signs, symptoms, or traits of groupthink, all of which lead to flawed conclusions. In summary, the group may have an illusion of invincibility and consider that nothing the group decides to do can go wrong. The 8 traits of groupthink, according to Janis, are as followed. Illusions of anonymity among key decision makers that cause them to doubt their own misgivings. Unquestioned beliefs that lead group members to ignore potential consequences of the group's actions, rationalization of potential warning signs that should cause group members to question their beliefs, stereotyping of contrary viewpoints, leading members of the group to reject perspectives that question or challenge the group's ideas, mind guards, or members of the group who prevent troubling or contrarian viewpoints from circulating among group members. Rather than sharing important information, they may keep quiet or prevent other members from sharing. Illusions of invulnerability lead group members to engage in unjustified risky behaviors with an overly optimistic hope of success. Direct pressure may silence group members who tend to pose inconvenient questions or raise objections that may be seen as evidence of disloyalty. Collectively, these behaviors may make members of a group be excessively optimistic about their success, ignoring any possible negative outcomes. Members are convinced their cause is right and just, so they ignore any moral issues of the group's decisions. The group body tends to ignore the suggestions of anyone outside the group. Any dissenters are pressured to come around to the consensus. After the pressure is exerted, members censor themselves to prevent further shunning. Once decisions are made, the group assumes them to be unanimous. When some members of a group act as a mind guard, these sentinels prevent any contrary advice from reaching the leaders of the organization. Time constraints may exacerbate all of these issues, and any decisions that need to be made fast may not undergo due diligence. What causes groupthink? Janice also identified certain factors that may contribute to or exacerbate problems related to groupthink. One of the key factors is group identity. When there is a strong sense of shared identity, group members may place a higher value on in-group perspectives and disregard those perspectives from outside the group. Leadership influences may also be a factor. Members may be more likely to ignore their own misgivings if the group has a powerful or charismatic leader. Information levels and stress may also contribute to groupthink by causing group members to act irrationally. If members of the group lack information or feel that other members are better informed, they may be more likely to defer to others in group decision-making. High-stress situations can also contribute to poor decisions by reducing the opportunities for careful discussion. These issues may be exacerbated by extrinsic factors such as the perception of an external threat to the group or isolation from outside sources of information. Group members might not be able to make rational decisions when they believe that they are under urgent pressure for immediate action. This might be able to explain why some people get pulled into cults and why they would have trouble leaving. How to avoid groupthink. Even in highly cohesive groups, there are steps that can be taken to lessen the impact of groupthink on collective decision-making. Groupthink arises out of a natural pressure for conformity, so the problem can be alleviated by assigning one member to act as a devil's advocate, intentionally raising every possible objection. Since this is an assigned role, the devil's advocate need not worry about the perception of being opposed to the group. Group members may avoid speaking out to avoid contracting the group's leadership. To avoid that problem, leaders should step back from early discussions to allow lower-ranked members to air their views first. After discussion, leaders should consider holding a second-chance discussion for any objections that were not raised before. Be sure to exercise critical thinking skills and be wary of any group that shuns ex-members or doesn't allow any questioning. Of course, be sure to protect yourselves from extreme political and religious groups by staying educated and informed. Then, be sure to subscribe to my channel for more information on how to combat this as a society. In conclusion, Groupthink occurs when people converge on the same idea with little critical thinking or opposition within the ranks. While groupthink can signal solidarity and may show respect or deference to more senior leaders, it also shuts down dissenting voices and alternative opinions. This means that wrong ideas or bad strategies can become amplified and ultimately implemented. Groupthink, therefore, can lead to suboptimal or even disastrous outcomes. However, there are ways to prevent becoming a part of communities that use these manipulation tactics and stay safe from all the cults out there.